What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Monday, June 9th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. She is a voiceover actress that has been a voiceover actress for the past 15 plus years in this industry. Her name is Jessica Holtan. She specializes in doing commercials, narration, and audiobook. So we're going to get to know her a little bit and get to know her why of why she transitioned to that to being a voiceover actress. Um, Without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Jessica Holtan.
What's going on?
Hello there. How we doing today?
Pretty good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Cannot complain. You look absolutely lovely. I just want to say that right
Oh,
off the bat.
thank you. That's
You're
very
very
kind of
welcome.
you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to say thank you
Yeah.
for coming on my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I really do appreciate it. And how was your weekend and how's your Monday going so far?
Weekend was great. Got to spend it with my baby. So that was good. And yeah, the week is starting off busy, which is always a plus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love to hear that. I want to reiterate to you, Jessica, why I wanted to have you on here before I start peppering you with all these questions. And
Okay.
so the reason why I wanted to have you on here is I am a person that loves to talk to all kinds of people in media. I'm a journalist, so I come from that particular media space of writing and editing and videos and just, sports journalist. That's my genre. So I cover games and cover athletes. I know you do voiceovers
Yeah.
and you do narration, you do commercials. I've seen a few of your demos. Your voice is very soothing, by the way. I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
very, very soothing, like just relaxing. I love listening to it. No question about it. Um, but looking at your demos is obviously something that you really love to do. And I always love talking to different voiceovers. I've had many voiceovers on this platform, and everybody's story is special, but also very different of how they gotten into this industry. And I definitely want to be able to talk to you and be able to hear your story and hear how you got into the industry. So um, that's why I wanted to have you on this platform and have you on here for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I always love the opportunity to share it.
Well, that's what's up. I love that. Well, without any further ado, the first question is always the same for everybody that comes on here. And that is, what is your why? What is your why of doing what we do? What is your why of doing that? And just tell me what did you have any inspirations? Did you have any aspirations of always doing voiceover, or did it just kind of fall into your lap?
Yes and yes. It's a weird answer, but let me explain.
Okay.
Um, so my why is mostly based around the fact that you can see my three children.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 30-year-old, a 27-year-old, and a
Mm,
5-year-old. When I found out I was pregnant with the 5-year-old, I decided that I did not want to be working in a corporate job anymore, that I
okay.
wanted something that had a little bit more flexibility, allowed me to be home with her. Little did I know she was going to be born the day that everything started shutting down for the pandemic. So it actually turned out even better because I could work from home the whole time during the pandemic, and
Right.
I was home with a baby. So that worked out really well. Um, I had started voiceover, well, back in my childhood. My father was in radio. So he would
Okay.
have us come in every now and then and do commercials. And so I remember my first commercial verbatim when I was 8 years old. I
Mm,
did a commercial for the Fireside Restaurant in Wisconsin.
mm,
And that was kind of like my first foray into voiceover. From there, I kind of got the theater bug, started acting, did a lot of community theater, and then did some professional theater in Minneapolis. Um, And so while I was doing professional theater, I actually did get an agent, and they kind of started me on the voiceover track of, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? Now, back in the day, most of us didn't have home studios. We went in to our agent's office, recorded an
Right.
audition, or we went into the casting director's office, recorded an audition, and then left and waited to hear. So I didn't have a home studio. I didn't have any of that going on. And from there, I kind of started into the audiobook world. Um, I was selected to record some children's books just for an author that was local in Wisconsin. And it was really
Mm.
fun. I got to do some weird little voices, and I didn't know what I was
Mm.
doing, but it was fun. Um,
Sure.
so yeah, so I mean, I'd had some experience with it. So when I was looking for something that I knew I could do while I was here, voiceover just kind of kept coming to the forefront. And a good friend of mine from Minneapolis, we shared an agent, was already doing voiceover and was really enjoying it. And she invited me to attend a conference with her. It is the largest voiceover conference dedicated solely to voiceover in
Mm.
Atlanta every year. So I attended that voiceover conference with her, and from there I was pretty much a goner. Like it just fell,
It hooked you.
everything fell into place, and it just felt right.
Oh, I love it. I do. Now, do they do this conference in different cities, or is it the same place every year?
This one is only in Atlanta. It's in
Oh.
March every year. It is huge. I think I want to say 2,000 attendees is what they cap it at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, and it is solely dedicated to business of, well, not business. Let me say that again. Voiceover. See, take two. It is solely dedicated to voiceover. So all things voiceover, from the business side to all the different genres to the equipment, like it's all covered there. But it's all voice actors. A lot of people will attend other conferences that might be business conferences or comic cons, or things like that, that are not necessarily dedicated to voiceover people but still help. This one is purely voiceover, and it's really fun and really cool
I
and
like
really
that.
exhausting.
Okay. All right. Well, 2026 March, I may have to pull up. I just want to
Oh,
see what I just want to see what
it's
it's about
fun.
because that's where I came from Atlanta. I transplanted from Atlanta, Georgia,
Oh,
to
really?
Minneapolis. Yeah, to Minneapolis out here.
Okay.
So
We just
yeah,
flip flop spaces then. We
we
could
did because I
trade.
believe you're in Nashville,
I
right?
am in Nashville. I am in Nashville. But,
So
close
yeah.
enough. Close enough.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm very fond of that place too. I got a lot of friends that's there. Tootsie's is one of my favorite bars. If you know about Tootsie's,
Never heard of
there's
it.
no. Oh, sure you haven't. Sure you, sure you haven't. But it's a great place. I
It
love
is.
Fifth and Broadway. No question about it. One of
Fifth
my
Abroad
favorite
is
places.
great. Yes.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
actually, I
Okay.
don't know if I told you this, but I actually just started a new little side hustle because I get lonesome in my booth all day. I'm a tour guide now for downtown Nashville, like a
Oh,
local food tour. So
okay.
yeah. So if you do come back, you have to come take a tour.
I'm definitely gonna come see you. There's no question about that. I don't care what we doing, whether it is grabbing some food, getting a tour, or maybe going to the Grand Ole Opry. It don't matter what we doing. This is something. I'm definitely gonna come down and see you and say what's up because I'm very fond of Nashville, and you're obviously pretty awesome yourselves. There's no question about
Well,
that.
that's
So
true. That's true. My guy and I'll
yep,
take you out.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's talk about you going to University of Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
University of Wisconsin. That was your college choice to go to. I want to know, and I can't say it correctly. I don't believe it's Eau Claire. Is it Eau Claire or
Oh, it's actually French. So,
okay?
yep, eau
Eau Claire.
claire means
Eau
clear
Claire.
water in French.
Got you. Okay.
We
Was
went
that the only school that you had on your mind as far as going there, or were there other schools that were in
Yeah,
the running?
you know, so I moved every between every 2 and 4 years my entire life,
Mm.
up until college, actually even after college. Uh, yeah, up until about 2004, I had moved every 2 to 4 years. With
Mm.
my dad in radio, we would buy and sell radio stations, and so I went to a lot of different schools. When we moved to Eau Claire, so I grew up in Eau Claire. I lived there till I was 10. Then we moved and we moved again. And my senior year, we moved back to Eau Claire. But I was in a
Mhm.
different school than I was when I had left. So it was really difficult for me to think about leaving again. I didn't want to leave. I had a little brother. At the time he was 7, so I didn't want to leave him. I didn't really want to leave my parents, and
Sure.
so Eau Claire was there, and it's a great school, and they had a great drama department. So that was really why I started there. It was in town, it was local. I hadn't done a lot of research and I didn't apply to a lot of colleges. I wanted
Mhm.
to stay local and I was lucky enough to just be accepted there. It's gotten much harder to go to school there, actually.
Sure. Sure.
So yeah, so that was the biggest reason for me starting there.
Okay, I like that. Now, you say you're a drama person. I'm huge into theater myself, especially musicals. I acted in 2 of them in high school. Are you a musical person?
Oh yes.
Okay, okay.
Oh yes.
Give me your top 3, and I'll give you my top 3.
To perform in or to watch? Because there's a
Uh,
difference.
both. Give me both of them.
Okay. Top three to perform in. Annie,
Mhm.
because it doesn't matter if you're a lead or an ensemble, it is always fun.
Yes, it is.
Um, I actually just had the honor of being Diana in Next to Normal, which
Oh,
was a huge challenge but amazing. So that blew me away.
okay.
And oh, so I've got a classic, I've got a recent. I don't know. There's so many that I got to be so silly in. Legally Blonde. I got to be in Legal. I got to play Elle Woods in
Oh,
Legally
yeah.
Blonde. I was
That's
way too
right.
old to be playing it, but it was so much fun. I got to dance my butt off. It's really the last show that I danced, like full out danced in. Uh,
Mhm.
although I guess right after that, I did do Eating Raoul, which most people don't know. If you haven't seen it or heard of it, look it up.
Mm-mm.
It is
No.
ridiculous and weird and strange and awesome, and it was so much fun.
Okay.
So I guess
Okay.
I
Imma
gave you
keep that in
four,
mind.
but four is good.
4 is definitely good. Yeah, no question. Well, I would say, to perform is Les Misérables for me.
Oh yes.
I got a chance to do that. That was pretty amazing. Had to drink with me solo, so that was pretty awesome.
Mm,
High School Musical, that one of my favorites. And I would definitely say Hairspray.
oh,
Um, Hairspray is definitely one of my favorites as well. But Annie is very close. I love Annie, the musical. So we definitely both love Annie, which is great. That's amazing.
I love
I'm
her.
hoping that somebody does a production of that again so I can go see that live because I really love that particular play and musical.
It's so good, right? Like I Annie was my very first. When I
Okay.
was 10 years old, I played an orphan and I was the understudy for Annie. So to get
Mm,
an understudy role my very first time out was I was pretty excited about that. And then I did it in high school. And then I did it when Barrett was 10.
okay. I
I
like
got to
that.
play Lily St. James or Lily St. Regis. Lily St. Regis. Like the hotel. Um,
Mm,
and then so my hope now is that so Harrison did Oliver and I got to be Nancy when he was in Oliver. He was one of the orphans in Oliver with the street
oh,
rats.
okay. Yeah.
So I had one with each of them. So now that Ava's getting older, I'm hoping she's kind of a theatrical kid too. So I'm hoping that maybe when she plays in it, I can still sneak under the radar and either get to play. Why can't I think of her name now? The lead female,
Are you talking about
Grace.
the
Grace.
Grace? That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
Hopefully, I can sneak in and be Grace. So I'll
That
accept
would be
every
amazing.
part.
That would be
Or Miss
amazing.
Hannigan, or I could play Miss Hannigan because that
I
would
was
be
gonna say that one
amazing.
first. I was gonna say Miss Hannigan first because I
That would
think
be
if you
really
would,
fun.
yeah, I think that would be kind of fun. I think that'd be pretty cool. Okay, I'm with you on that. Jessica, we're gonna ask some favorite questions, and you just give me the 411 off the rip, and based upon these favorite questions that I have for you. Now, the first one I got for you is favorite meal you like to
Mhm.
cook.
I love to cook. And actually, we just made it last night. A nice ribeye steak,
Mm.
some sauteed kale with mushrooms, and we did grilled shrimp last night, and that might be my new fave.
Jessica, you're gonna win my heart already. We only on question three. Lord have mercy. Come on
It was
now. Wow,
delicious.
my mouth is watering. My goodness. I love that though. That's pretty good. I would say tacos for me.
Nice.
Tacos are my favorite. No question about that. So I love me some tacos. Um, favorite concert you've ever attended?
Ooh, that's a great question. One of the most iconic ones that I think, and probably my favorite, was my best friend took me to see Cher at Caesar's
Mm,
Palace, and we were in the fourth row, and she
wow.
came out in a gold sequins dress. And I have never, ever, ever been a person that has cried at a concert before.
Hmm.
Totally lost myself, and I just started bawling. And she looked down and she looks at me and she's like, "I like your dress." And I was like, "Okay, I'm happy." Because I was
Wow.
wearing a gold sequins dress too, so we matched.
Well, look at that. Both of y'all looking fine. I like that. Okay. And
How
do
about
you
you?
believe in love after love?
Right.
For me, probably, man, I've been to a lot of concerts of many different genres. I would probably say Alicia Keys was one of my favorites for
Ooh,
sure. Seeing her live, I'm a huge R&B person, but man, yeah, seeing her live and seeing how beautiful she is and how she could just play that piano really good. Yeah, and she could
yeah,
sing her tail off for sure. No question. Alicia Keys. Um,
nice.
favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Well, so far, um, gosh, that's tough because there's been some really cool places lately. One of the coolest trips that I just didn't expect to be so awesome
Hmm?
was my girlfriend for her 40th birthday wanted to go to Alaska. And we
Oh,
just said, "Mm, okay, whatever." It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. It was stunning and beautiful, and the sun was up until midnight every night, and then I'd wake up at 4 a.m. and just be ready to go for the day. I mean, it was phenomenal.
I like that. I think you're one of the first few people that's ever said Alaska on here when I've asked that question, to be honest with you. So I love that. I love hearing the different places. Mine would be Jamaica.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. I haven't
got
been
a
there
chance
since
to
I was
go.
4. Did you love
Oh
it?
my man, the jerk chicken was really something. Authentic. It was so good. And I'm a huge chicken person now. I mean, ever since unfortunately I got sick,
Mhm.
I'm huge into jerk like chicken, just chicken and fish. So I really cut out a lot of stuff in my life, and I actually lost about 55 pounds.
Congratulations.
I know that's down. I'm down, and not for the reason that I want it to be, but at the same time, it's still good. It's still good to lose that weight. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm sure I'll put it back on in muscle for sure as I
Absolutely.
as I go back into the gym and do my thing. But yeah, I definitely dropped that. I'm a huge chicken and fish person. Jamaica was beautiful. Got a chance to go there on the cruise that my dad was planning all pretty much all year of 24. And we got a chance to go in October. And that's when I got my passport. And I plan on going on another cruise in 26, for
Excellent.
sure.
Where are you heading?
Um, uh, mm,
What would
you
be what
know,
would be your number 1?
maybe the DR,
Yeah.
Costa Rica, Honduras, places over there. Definitely European. I would love that. Um, we headed to Jamaica. We headed to Mexico.
Mhm.
We was on the Cayman Islands, and we
Excellent.
was in the Bahamas. So those were the four stops that we had. It was a week long cruise. I would probably do a week long cruise again. Um, but this time probably do it. We did it on MSC cruises, so it was international. and I
Sure,
love
sure.
that. It was great, but I want to be able to interact with more people as well because it's hard when you don't speak, English like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely want to do probably Royal Caribbean, something like that. So yeah, I'm looking into that for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, they're beautiful cruise lines. I think so. My partner David used to play shows on cruises before we had Ava, and he would be. I mean, we would fly to wherever the cruise was, like midway through,
Mm-hmm.
and just join it midway, and then it was
Oh,
crazy. It was wild. But I think he mostly worked on. I think it was Holland America
okay.
and Celebrity? No, that's part of the Princess. Anyway, I know mostly Holland America, and he loved those. So
I love it. I
high
love to hear that.
recommendation on those too.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Now, this next question has to do with sports because I'm a sports person. Okay,
Yeah.
so favorite sport you like to watch on TV, favorite sport you like to attend in person. They could be the same sport.
Only sport I like to watch on TV is football. I do like
Okay,
football. I enjoy it very, very much. I'm a Denver fan. I grew up in the Midwest, so everybody in my family was either Packers or Vikings. And
sure.
being a middle child, I couldn't choose sides. So So my dad took me to it was a Kansas City Chiefs and Denver Broncos game, and I was 10 again. A lot of stuff happened when I was 10. Anyway, we
Hmm.
went to that game, and the Chiefs fans were kind of, I don't know, annoyed with me. They got mad at me. So I went and sat in a different side, and I was sitting by a bunch of Denver fans, and they were really nice, and they were explaining the game, and they let me use their binoculars, and from that point on I was a Broncos fan, and I got to see John Elway play, so that was pretty freaking cool. um
That had to be. Yeah, that had to be pretty awesome
but that's
for
about
sure.
the only sport that I enjoy watching on TV.
Okay. Well, we are rivals. I mean, listen, you've been absolutely lovely to this point, and you are lovely, but
You are not a Chiefs fan, are you?
no, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm a Chargers fan.
Oh see, you and my son, he's a Chargers fan too.
Yeah, I'm a Chargers fan. I grew up in San Diego, so
Okay,
that's
well, at
my
least
that's
you have
my
a good reason.
yeah. LT is my favorite player of all time. I grew up where, I was pretty young when they had the Jack Murphy Stadium, where the Padres and the Chargers both played in the same stadium.
Wow.
I was around then. Um, and then they moved it to Qualcomm Stadium, and I used to go to their games quite a bit. Tickets were pretty cheap because the Chargers were bad, and at that particular time. So yeah, I loved um I mean, we both hate the Raiders. Let's just
Yeah.
call it what it is.
Now we're friends.
We are friends.
Now we're
We
friends
definitely
again. It's
we
all good.
definitely hate the Raiders. There's no question about that. It used to be just a huge thing when it was in Oakland. I remember it was a crazy type of riot, where because I lived across the street from the stadium. So I remember they used to put cars on fire.
Oof.
So yeah, it used to be pretty wild, and even wilder when you went to Oakland, in the black hole. It was even wilder there. So no question. Okay,
Were
I
you
like
in
that.
Minneapolis when the Eagles were there?
You talking about for the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
No, at that particular time I was in Atlanta because I
You
believe
were
that was
still in Atlanta.
2018.
Okay.
It was 2018 when that happened.
Yeah, because I had just moved here.
Mhm. So yeah, I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, no, that was 2017. 2017, because 2018 the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Rams played the Patriots.
Was
I
it?
think, yeah, because I definitely know because that day was my birthday. My birthday when the Super
Ah.
Bowl happened. My birthday's February 2nd. So, um, I remember the 2017 game being in Atlanta, Georgia, and the Eagles playing in Minnesota. I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, because Minnesota was actually
Yeah, so
one
that had to be 20 because 2017 I watched the playoff game
right.
here, but 2018 would have been the one because I was wishing I would have held on to my house 6 months longer so I could have rented it out for the Super Bowl.
All
You
right.
know.
You know what? That's okay. That's all right. And listen, you're probably in a very beautiful house now in Nashville, and it's awesome. And you can get a lot of Jack in the Box there. Y'all still got Jack in the Box there,
We
right?
still have Jack in the Box, yes.
Okay, cool. That's my all-time favorite restaurant, Jack in
Is
the Box.
it?
It is.
One right down the road.
If I was gonna be bad and eat out and have my cheat day, that's the one thing that I would cheat on. I don't I have not ate out. I have not had no fast food in months, due to, obvious reasons,
Yeah.
but if I was going to cheat, Jack in the Box would be it. That's
Man.
it.
See, I would
That's it.
be straight out to Nolensville Pike and hitting Prince's Hot Chicken. Like
Mm,
that is
okay.
that is my go-to cheat day.
Okay. Princess Hot Chicken. I'm gonna
Oh,
keep that in mind,
yeah.
Jessica.
Oh, yeah.
I am, no doubt. Last of the favorites.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant that you like to eat out at?
Prince's Hot Chicken. You think I'm kidding? No, I actually just had to answer this question for that job interview for the food tour. And I have 2 go-to, well, we have 3. Um, but Prince's Hot Chicken is like my number 1, like, if I'm sad, if I'm happy, if I feel like being bad, if we just are bored and want to do something, decide that eating is the
Mm,
choice, that's where we go. That is, like, my number 1 place. I like fancy restaurants, but I cook so much that it doesn't always seem worth it, like,
I feel
cost-wise,
that.
to go to the nicer restaurants, unless it's something that I don't cook. Now, I have a cheater version of hot chicken that's healthier, that's, like, my Weight Watchers friendly version, but
Sure.
it's not the same. It's not the
I can
same as
imagine.
a
I
really
can imagine.
good fried chicken that is, and I go hot. Like, David's a medium. I go hot. Like, I want it to
I'm with David.
burn my
I'm with
face.
David all the way. I am with
Well,
David. No
it's so
question.
funny too because I walk in there and they take one look at me and they're like, "Oh, no. No, no, no." And I'm like, "Oh, don't. Don't
They need to
question
put you on
me."
the show Hot Wings. You ever seen the show Hot Wings on YouTube?
Me and Rachel Ray, man, she and I can both, like, take it all the way to that last level.
Okay. No, not me. I'm gonna put my ass right in the middle. That's it. That's it. After that, I'm tapping out. You better give me some milk or something. That's for real. Oh
Pickles.
man.
Pickles
I,
all the way.
I love it. That's what's up. Okay, you did pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk to you about your day to day.
Yes.
And this is something that's very, I always like to ask these kind of questions to everybody that's on my platform because everybody's day to day is different. When you're a voiceover, I imagine you live in that booth trying to perfect your voices for these commercials, these narrations, these audio books. You get a lot of scripts. I'm sure your agent sent you plenty of scripts. Um, I would like to know what is your day to day process? You talked about it, right? You have a little girl there.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if your other 2 kids live with you as well, but if they do, that's a full house, right? It's a full
Yeah,
house that
yeah.
you have.
Well, they
Uh,
don't. It
okay.
actually makes my life, I actually love having a full house. I wish they were still here, but, she's married. She's got her own
Mhm.
household to take care of
Mm.
now. And Harrison's in a relationship, and he and his girlfriend live together now. So,
That's
um,
awesome.
so it's really just me, Ava, and David. I actually, I have my house. He has his house. We haven't combined households yet.
Okay.
But we kind of go back and forth between the two. So mornings are pretty much getting Ava ready for school.
Yep.
I like to go for, a walk or do my physical therapy because I'm doing PT right now too. Um,
Mhm.
try and get those things done in the morning. I am not a really early starter, to be honest. I have to have my coffee in the morning. I have to have
Oh,
my breakfast in the morning. Um, or at least like have that time to just kind of sit, watch the news, watch TV, watch a game show, something before I
okay.
can really get started. So I don't really start work stuff until about 9 a.m. Um, and then it's just checking emails, social media posts kind of take over my brain a lot, and I haven't been very good about them lately, but try to do at least 2 to 3 a week. Um, and then you've got to do marketing, man. Like that's the hardest part of this job, I think, is you're not just the voice actor. It's not like I just get to sit in my booth all day and read auditions and do jobs. I wish it was because that
Right.
used to be kind of the thing. Our agents would just send us stuff and we would just do it.
Mhm.
Nowadays, I mean, I have to send out marketing letters. I have to update my database, my CRM of people all the time. I have to, find people to reach out to and market to. I have to catch up with people that I've already worked with. Um, and then on top of that, I also do on camera work. So I have to do those auditions and go through those things. And
Mm,
that's, I don't have a regular setup in my house. I have a lovely townhouse, but it's a townhouse, so it's not like totally set up all the time. So I have to
sure.
move the table and put all my lighting up. So it gets to be kind of a long, long day. So if I don't get my coffee in the morning, it's not going well.
I totally understand that. Fun fact, never had coffee in my life. Never had coffee. Um, I just, everybody in my family drinks it, but I have not. And many people have taken me to, like, Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, but
Hmm.
I just get the donuts from
Yeah,
Dunkin', and then, like, with Starbucks, I get a smoothie. So, I
there
really
you
don't
go.
do the coffee. So, but, I totally understand that. Coffee gets you going.
Yeah.
Now, how many cups you normally have?
Confession time. Um, well,
Mm,
in the morning, we'll say two, which
okay. I've
for
seen that
most
big cup
people
you
would
was
be
drinking.
four.
Yeah, yeah. That is a BAC. That's what we call a big ass cup.
Yeah, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's at least two of those in the morning, usually, and then most of the time one mid-afternoon.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I could just have an IV drip and probably be happy.
How many scripts do you normally do a day? Like what's and how long do you normally go for? When do you normally like try to cut it off and say, you know what, I'm done for the day. I'm not gonna work on this anymore. I'm not gonna record. Because
Yeah,
voiceovers, it's a business, right? Because you're like
it
you're
is.
saying, you're marketing yourself, you're investing in yourself, but you also have to find, scripts and stuff for you to be able to generate revenue. So
Mhm.
some people go and really sacrifice a lot of family time for
Yeah.
that because they're working all day. Like, how long do you normally work a day, and how many scripts do you normally do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it totally varies. Auditions wise, I kind of shoot for between 5 and 10 a day. That's
Okay.
my goal. But to be fair, I also include on camera auditions in that number.
Okay.
And so, between 5 and 10 a day. I work with a company that does on hold messaging. So I almost always have one or two scripts from them, with either, anywhere from 1 to 7 prompts per email from them. So
Mhm.
so that takes up, a good chunk of time too. And if I have more from them or if I have a job that day, then, I'm probably closer to 5 on the auditions. If there are no jobs that day, then we're probably getting closer to 10, sometimes more than that. If you're on a roll, you just keep going. You know, if if it's hard, there are days that I've gotten in there, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do 10 auditions, we're gonna get this done. And I get in there and I spend 20 minutes on one audition. And it's just not coming. It's, 5 lines.
Mhm.
It's just not coming out right. Then it's like, okay, you know what? We're gonna take that one off. We're gonna try a new one. That doesn't
Okay.
work. Then it's like, okay, I need a reset. So I'll get up, I'll, go do something else and then come back in the booth later. So sometimes you don't hit your goal. There are just days that it's off, your tongue's not working right, or your, words are all coming out weird, or your sinuses are bad. It's such a crapshoot sometimes. So, between 5 and 10 a day, I know a lot of people probably I guess you would say work harder than I do. Um, I don't take work home with me. I
Okay.
will rarely let myself work past 5 o'clock because I have a 5-year old and I want to spend time with her. And I have
Yep.
a partner at home that I want to spend time with. So I normally won't go past 5 o'clock. Now, that being said, I also do audiobooks, and sometimes you just have to. There are plenty of times e-learning things that I do, training videos and things that have tight deadlines. And so
Right.
I might pull an all-nighter. That's why it's nice to have my own house because I can leave them at David's and let them sleep when I come here and I can work till 3 or 4 in the morning and I'm not bothering anybody. So,
Sure.
things kind of go back and forth, but there is no, I guess that's the whole lesson. There is nothing typical about this business. There is no typical day for me. It's
It
always different.
differentiates. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that answer. I really do. And respect that. Respect the grind, respect the hustle for sure. Talking about that leads me into a segue of mental health and
Yes.
work-life balance, right? You talked about it. Every day is different. And sometimes that can affect people's mental health when you're in this business, right? You got to
Mhm.
really be passionate about what you're doing and the type of work that you are doing and putting out there. Talk to
Yeah.
me about how you keep your mental health strong and also still have that work-life balance, having a partner like David, being a mom as well. Those are just that's a lot of hats to wear, and it's not
It is.
easy to wear them. So talk to me about how you balance all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who get into this industry thinking it's just gonna be, a quick money, a really easy gig, and it's a side
Yep,
hustle.
yep,
I don't know how people do this as a side hustle. Not that make any real money. I just don't think that that's possible. One of the things that I have found that really helps me because it allows me to find other people who are feeling the same way. I'm very straightforward and raw a lot on my social media. I don't put a lot of stuff out there that's like, oh, my life is so great, everybody's so beautiful, blah blah blah. I'm the girl that's on there going, you know what? Shit's hard right now.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah,
sucks. And
yeah.
I haven't had a lot of wins lately, and that always sucks. And it sucks to see, all these other people getting these great jobs, and I'm happy for them. I am the biggest cheerleader for my friends.
Sure.
But yeah, sometimes you just kind of feel like, God, do I suck? And
Right. Or why
you
not
know,
me? Why not me?
yeah. Or
Right.
what do I need to do
Yep.
to hit that extra 10%? So
Absolutely.
so I that kind of helps me because it's sparked so many conversations with people that reach out and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm feeling that too. I'm in the same rut. Can we talk?" So, getting little conversations. I also have a weekly accountability group where we talk.
Mm.
We try to keep it. Our first 10 minutes is just about our business, what we're doing, what was on our to do list for the week, and then with our leftover time, though, we will often talk about who's having struggles, what's going on, or who's got wins this week, like what awesome things have happened for you, so that we can all cheer each other on. Um,
Sure.
I listened to a lot of audiobooks actually. It was one of the reasons I wasn't afraid to do audiobooks is because I do love listening to them.
Okay.
And that escapism a little bit has been, that's one of my big mental health breaks is just to listen to an amazing narrator like, somebody like Julia Whalen who is incredible and, kind of just have that moment to get lost into something else. Um is a huge help for me, whether I'm on a walk or doing something, in the kitchen.
Right.
It's just a nice brain break, kind of helps me reset.
No, I love that.
Now,
I
I'm
do.
also incredibly lucky to have a really fun 5-year-old and a really great partner at home who, like literally every night, he and I play a video game. We have been playing a video game since the end of 2020. I don't think that there's been a night that we haven't played a game.
And what games do you normally play?
Well, we play a lot of RPG games.
Okay.
So, and I
Oh,
I play by helping him. I tell him what to do. He actually holds the controller.
I love
Sometimes I
that though.
drive the
I
horse
do.
though. But we have played everything. We've pretty much gone through the entire Assassin's Creed
Hmm.
catalog. We played Witcher
Good
3
game.
was one
Good
of my
game.
favorites.
Hmm.
We
Call of Duty.
literally
Y'all play?
hmm?
Do y'all play Call of Duty?
No, we haven't done that one. I
Okay.
don't really love the first person shooters. They kind of, I don't know what it is. It's something with I don't know if I like it messes with my eyes with, like I
Mm.
get a little nauseous when I watch them.
Right.
So
Right.
I tend to kind of stick to the RPGs that I can, see over the top. Baldur's Gate though. Baldur's Gate we actually played twice through. I think we put about 600 hours into that game.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
amazing.
Okay. I'm with it. I'm with it. I love that. I love the fact that y'all do stuff like that together because you
Yeah.
do need a kind of an outlet from this, right? We love what we do as being in the media people and doing that,
Hmm.
but sometimes you just kind of need a break, and people need to know that these are the type of things that people do when they go and take a break from their profession. I know I like to do poetry. I like to go on walks when it's not super damn cold here, and cause
Even
yeah, if
when
you
it
know.
is, you just bundle up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bundle up. Okay. Okay. But I'm gonna say, but you just you do those kind of things. Like I like to play video games too. I'm a huge I like first person shooter games, but I also like sports games too. I'm a huge into the MLB the show, NBA 2K, stuff like that. So I like to do that.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing for sure. It's another great segue though, because I want to ask you about advice. I'm sure people have asked you about getting into this industry. What kind
Hmm.
of advice would you give individuals that want to be in the voiceover industry, that want to do this kind of line of work? Because, typically you got to buy classes,
Hmm.
you got to get a coach, and you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
And typically people be like, man, that's a lot of money to invest. They're really hesitant. What kind of
Hmm.
advice would you say or give to people?
Yeah, I mean that's I'm going to tell you what any other voice actor worth their salt will tell you. Um, it is an investment. It's not a hobby for most people.
Mhm.
Now there are some genres that you could maybe do a little bit more as a hobby, and but you're going to be working with you know different levels of companies. Some people can do video games on the side that
Right.
where they can, just have a USB mic that they plug in but they're going to be probably working with some independent game developers that are kind of just getting started in the industry as well. Um,
Right.
Same thing with audiobooks, like really, really great audiobook narrators, they do this full time. They've got the full setup, they've got the pro gear, and they've been coaching and learning for a long time. There are a lot of people that I know, friends of mine even, that do it part time. They do it on the side, but they're getting most of their work off of lesser quality websites, or they're getting paid in shares as opposed to getting a flat fee or getting a fee plus royalties. So
Right.
you're going to get out of it what you put into it. You got to do your research, and you got to be prepared to invest. And I think that's the hardest part, that people coming into this you know have to remember that this isn't a hobby, that this is a career. You don't come into this thinking you're just gonna do it when you have time. There are a lot of people that hold a full time job and
Yeah.
then start in this business, and I, you know, more power to them. I cannot imagine being able to
Mm.
do a full time job and do this.
Right.
Um, and I know that there a lot of those people are working toward doing this full time, but it's a huge investment financially and with your time, and it's a business, not a hobby. You got to treat it like a business. And I think that's probably my number one thing, is you have to treat this like a business.
Right. Right. No, great answer. A lot of voiceovers that I've talked to, Jessica, on this platform, again, the number one line that I hear from them is that, um, man, I lost my train of thought, but it'll come back to me as I speak to like the different kind of answers that you gave. Is that they do talk about it being a business and not being a hobby. They do talk about
Mhm.
that. They talk about you got to be serious, and you got to take this seriously. And one of the lines that um most voiceovers use is that, oh well, you know just because you have a great voice
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you could be a voiceover. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Voiceovers tell me that all the time. Just because you have a great voice doesn't mean that you're going to be a great voiceover person. It's not just about your voice. There's so much more that goes into being a voiceover than just having a great voice. To
Mhm.
that, what would you say?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100% true. Um,
Okay.
it's one of the things with voiceover is, a big thing with voiceover is acting. There's a lot of it, and that's why. people who hire voice actors on a regular basis love to see that you have an acting background, especially on camera. On stage, people can be a little bit tentative because on stage we are big and we are bold, and
Mm.
it can be a lot. And sometimes that works. I've had that work to my advantage for some animation auditions and some video game things. But even then, you got to think of it almost more as an on camera type of acting where,
Right,
on camera, it's everything is right here. It's all in the eyes, right? It's very small, it's very subtle, it's all in the eyes. With voice acting, you're doing that same thing, but it's in the voice.
right.
You know, you have to be able to be empathic and you have to be able to embody the words. And I think that's one of the things that people don't understand how acting plays into voiceover. And
Mm.
there's a big push right now for people to remember that voiceover is acting. You're not a voiceover talent, you are an actor. You just are acting on the mic as opposed to on the stage or in front of the camera.
Which one do you like more? If there was one that you could say 51% or 49%, do you like acting with your voice or do you like acting in front of the camera more?
I love all of it.
Mhm.
If I had my choice between my three stages, I would be doing on stage musical theater all the time. I mean,
Okay.
that is where my heart and soul is. Like there's no question about it. That is what I wanted to be since I was 10 years old.
Wow.
But life just didn't really allow for me to really pursue that full time. So now I get to do it a couple times a year, and I'm thrilled to get into one or two shows a year. That makes me so happy, and
Mhm.
feeds my soul. So then I'm good. But I do have to say, in the last 2 years, especially, that voiceover has really kind of become neck and neck. Um, because I
Sure.
get to do
Sure.
so many different things. Like, one day I can be a super serious, let's talk about your, pharmaceutical medications and all of the horrible side effects that
Mm.
could come with them, but hey, it'll save your life. And then the next
Right.
day, I'm, some nasty witch that is trying to eat children. I don't know. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of back and forth. One of the last audiobooks I did, I had seven different accents that I had to try and learn, um,
Wow.
including Scottish, Irish, and Norwegian, where those three accents were having a conversation, and I had to like switch back and forth. It was not good, but I had a really good time trying to learn it.
I bet you did. Oh, that would be damn interesting to hear that. That's for sure. I would love that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Is there a particular genre that, when it comes to, voiceovering and audiobook reading that you really love? You talked about animation.
Mhm.
Is it maybe serious? Is it comedy? Is it doing commercials? Is it the medical field? Is there a certain genre that you love to do more than any one of those?
No, I wouldn't say there's one that I love to do any more than the other. I really enjoy all of them.
Okay.
Commercials are always like that's what everybody wants, right? Commercials is always the,
Hmm.
that's what everybody is like going for. Um, I do a lot of phone prompts on a daily basis, and
Okay.
I spent the first 18 years of my adult life being a receptionist or customer service representative. So that's very comfortable. It's a very easy place for me to be. The genre I really want to get into this year, though, big surprise, is video games. Like that's my goal. Now, right now, it's not a great place to be. They have been on strike for I think like a year and a half now.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, kind of dealing with a lot of the AI issues, and
Hmm.
they're fighting hard to make sure people are protected and paid for their work. And AI is, it's this big, not really new anymore, but still new
No. It's
thing.
taking over for sure. No
Yeah,
question.
and it's smart. It's very, very smart. So we got to make sure that we're taking care of people and that, that they can still make a living off of doing this. So I really appreciate the people that are out there striking for it. Um, but in the meantime, it's a great time for me to kind of practice those skills and start getting a demo made. Video games and animation are kind of the dream for a lot of people
Sure.
that come into voiceover, and um, I never even thought about it when I first started, and now in these last year and a half, 2 years, it's really become such a passion of mine that I'd love to see it.
Absolutely. I love that. We have now reached the portion of the podcast where we're going to play a little interactive game, Jessica, and it's called This or That.
Yes,
So, what this basically is I throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, Jessica, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. So, the first question is, which of these two restaurants would you rather eat at? Popeyes or KFC?
Mmm, Popeyes.
I'm about to say, girl, you in the damn South. You better represent.
Our KFC is scary.
Yeah, I feel that. Come on now. Yeah, but we starting off good. We starting off good. Here we go. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor are you going to put on them? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Oh, barbecue.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet.
Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
So you like to get messy.
I do, but I don't like the breading on the boneless wings.
Okay.
If you could
All
make a
right.
chicken wing that still had skin but didn't have the bones in it, that'd be great. But they
But
put that thick breading on it.
that's kind of like a boneless wing though, Jessica.
I know, but the boneless wing, it's like a chunk of chicken that they dip into batter and then deep fry it. It's not the
Okay.
skin. I like the skin on there.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. The next question has to do, what I should say the next four. The next four questions have to do with music concerts that you rather attend.
Okay.
So here we go. First one. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Rihanna or Beyonce?
Ooh. Uh, I'd love to see Beyonce again. She was great.
Okay, I like that. I
I'm a
like that.
little into this Cowboy Carter idea, so I want to check it out.
Yeah, it's a solid album. I'll tell you that. Pretty solid. Speaking of music, now you're there in Nashville, so I gotta ask you, which music artist would you rather go see? Would you rather see Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
Do I have to see either? Oh, I shouldn't say that out loud. You can't
Oh,
put that
oh,
in
oh, Lord.
there. No, I'm kidding. They're both great. You know what? Carrie puts on a phenomenal show. I would go see Carrie.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Here's this one. Which one would you rather go see? Which concert? Shabuzi or Morgan Wallen?
Hmm. Shabuzi. I'm not a Morgan Wallen fan.
Okay, okay.
I don't
I
like
like
people who
that.
throw chairs off of buildings.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That is. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a little bit crazy. Okay. Last one, and this is a throwback one because I love my R&B music, so this is R&B. Which group would you rather see in person in their prime? Boys the Men or New Edition?
Oh, new edition. Come on.
Mm,
Come on.
mm. Okay, girl. Okay, you got some flavor to you. I like that. I like that, Jess. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that's what's up. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Would you rather watch basketball or baseball? If you
Ugh.
had to choose.
Two of the worst. The
Don't
worst
say
to
that.
watch on TV.
Don't
Basketball if
say
I
that.
had to.
Do not listen, Jess. Don't say no foolishness like that. Basketball is good. It's good to watch.
Basketball is great in person.
Okay.
On
Uh,
TV, it's just like tennis. You just watch baskets back and forth. Unless it's college, then they're a little
I'm,
better.
I'm with you on the baseball. Baseball's kind of hard to watch on TV. I'm with
That's
you on that.
you might as well
No,
nap.
no question. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good
I have a
bowler?
bowling trophy. It was for high handicap though, so I can't really brag on that. But and I was
Wow.
8. But no, I love bowling.
Okay. Well, do you need the bumper still?
No!
Okay.
I'm proud of my gutter balls.
Listen, I'm just asking, sweetheart. I just want to make sure. I just want to make
I'm
sure,
really good at no. I'm
Okay.
actually I'm an okay bowler. I'm not a great bowler, but I'm okay.
When I pull up to Nashville, we're gonna have to test that out. Okay. We're going to have to test that out because I'm definitely coming back to that city. They don't call it Nash Vegas for no reason now.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
definitely gonna come back there for sure. Um, Also, fun fact: have you rode the tour bus where you get to drink and pedal at the same time? Did you do that?
Do you know those originated in Minneapolis?
Yeah,
The original
yeah.
pedal tavern? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, in fact,
Mhm.
the couple that originated it, moved out here to start this one. No, I have not done it here. I did it in Minneapolis. I've not done them here.
Okay. Yeah, you and David got to do it. It's a little bit different here. When I've been to Nashville several times, I've done it a couple times. I can't tell you about the last time I did it because I don't even remember all what happened. I just know it was a very good time, and I was with a few friends. That's for sure. I do know that, so it was good. You should do it. Um, these next two are gonna be. I'm gonna give you categories, and you have to choose one of these that you'll never eat again. Are you
Okay.
a desserts person?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you again four categories. One of these you got to choose. You'll never eat again. So the first one is cookies. Okay, so that's any type of cookie. The next one is ice cream. The next one is candy. The last one is cake slash pies. Which one are you choosing to get rid of?
Cookies.
Oh hell no. No, you did not just say cookie.
I could
Oh my
totally get rid of
god.
cookies.
Oh my
I like
gosh.
the dough, but yeah,
Okay.
don't take away my cake. The cake is like my number 1, but yeah,
Okay.
I can
So
get rid
so
of the
what's your
cookies.
what's your favorite ice cream?
I mean, so there's this one that they have at the Publix here that
Hmm.
is a cherry flavored ice cream with like chocolate fudge ribbons and then these little chocolate hearts that have the cherry filling on the inside
Uh-huh.
called Chocolate Cherish Passion. It's awesome. That's yeah.
Okay.
It is fattening as all get out, but that is my favorite flavor.
I've done over 250 episodes, and I can honestly say that's the first damn time I've ever heard of that ice cream ever.
I mean, we got some good ice cream places here, right? We've got the Jenny's Splendid Ice Cream, and
Mhm.
they've got their brown butter ice cream, which is also delicious. But yeah, I mean, send me to the
That
grocery store, and I'll come home with a tub of the chocolate
that is
cherish
awesome.
passion.
That's awesome. I would have chose candy. You can definitely get rid of candy for me because I'm not a huge candy
Yeah, I'm not a
person.
huge, but I like a little truffle or a little like turtle every now and then. Just
Okay.
a little. But yeah, if it's
Okay.
like a mass produced candy bar, no problem.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not too huge on that. I can't get rid of cakes or
Although
pies.
if you do come back to Nashville, you have to bring me a Pearson's nut roll because they don't have them here.
Wow. Okay. There's no question. I'll definitely be back. I have family in Atlanta. My mom, my uncle, my aunt, they're still down there in Atlanta, Georgia. So Nashville's nothing but a 3.5 hour drive from there. And I still have friends there too. So, but yes. This next question has to do with potato chips.
All right.
Um, are you a potato chip eater?
Sometimes if they're out.
Okay. So this is the same format.
Okay.
Four categories, four brands. Choose one to get rid of. So here we go. First brand is Doritos. The next brand is Lay's.
Mm.
The third brand is Pringles. The last brand is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Hmm. Probably the Lays.
Okay. I'm not
Biggest
mad at
reason
that.
being that they're the hardest ones to dip. They break.
Yeah. Yeah, because they easily break.
Yeah, they're
They
too thin.
easily break. Now when you say dip, for me, when I dip chips and the stuff, I like buffalo chicken dip. That's what I like to dip mine in. What type of dip do you like to dip your chips in?
I mean, I'm a big French onion, you know,
Okay.
Like
Okay.
the old school French onion dip, the, what is it, Dean's French onion dip is, like, probably my favorite, but I also make some, like, cheater Weight Watchers stuff at home that's pretty damn good. Um,
Okay. Hmm.
but,
Okay. So
my new obsession, though, is that Mexican street corn dip. Have you tried that?
I have not. No, I
Dude,
haven't tried that.
it's
Okay.
good. It's good.
Hmm. Now, okay, this may be controversial, and is actually one of my last times that I was in Atlanta, Georgia. So we did a Friendsgiving.
Mhm,
And when you do a Friendsgiving, people bring over all kinds of dishes.
mhm.
It's kind of like a huge potluck. Well, we had a certain girlfriend of a coworker of mine that brought French onion dip over. And I told her, that this is not a dish that you bring over for Thanksgiving. Now, she was like, "Well, I'm home. I made it at home and it's homemade." I was like, "Yeah, but we got three red flags here. Three red flags. The first red flag is you brought French onion dip. Okay, that's the first red flag. The second red flag is you didn't bring no damn chips with it. How you gonna bring dip and you don't bring no chips? That is it's a terrible red flag. And I said the third one is it don't even smell French onion. I don't even know. It definitely didn't smell French onion. That was the third red flag. Let me ask you, Jessica,
Yes.
is it appropriate to bring French onion dip to a Thanksgiving meal? Because I think it's not. I think that's terrible.
I mean, that's kind of the equivalent of, like, bringing a cheese log with no crackers. Like, that's an appetizer. That's not a dish. So, perhaps if you were, tasked with bringing either an appetizer or a dish to pass, if you had the choice, then fine, bring the French onion dip, but certainly not without chips.
Right. Brought no chips. And I
Yeah.
told her, I was like, look, I said, and this is what I said. I said, this is the equivalent of bringing a glizzy to Thanksgiving. Like you bringing glizzy to Thanksgiving. Like what is going on? Like nobody is gonna have hot dogs on the table for Thanksgiving. There's not a house I've ever been into, as far as my house, any house, that I've ever seen hot dogs on the table for Thanksgiving. I've never. Unless they dipped in some fucking beans and pork or something like that. I've never seen it. So and people was dying laughing. I was really dead serious. Like, and guess what happened at that Friendsgiving? No one touched the dip. Everything else got ate around there except the French onion dip.
Well, they didn't have
So,
anything to eat it with.
well, I mean, the people's house we went to had chips. She just didn't bring no chips of her own, but they still didn't. They still didn't eat it. They didn't touch it. And I wasn't gonna touch it. I wasn't gonna be you weren't gonna have me as a test dummy. No, hell no. That wasn't gonna happen. That's for sure. So when you said that, I just thought I should bring that up and ask that question
That's
because
awesome.
that's that was amazing. I appreciate that. Thank you for that answer. I want to get to a top four of I would say scripts or maybe roles since you do things in front of the camera and also with your mouth. What is the top four of scripts or roles? You could combine them of things that you want to do that you haven't done yet.
Um, well, okay. Well, we'll put it into more of like a my wish list. I
Sure.
want I would love to have a national commercial
Okay.
that is on regular TV. I have some that are like on streaming networks, but I would love a national commercial that is on the television, like major networks.
Right.
Um, I would love to be a co-star in a movie or a TV show. I've been
I
asked
can see
a
that.
couple times. So co-star really just means you have lines in the show. You're not
Right.
necessarily a recurring role. Sometimes they are, but sometimes they're not. But I've gotten shortlisted a couple times to be on a couple different TV shows. So I want one of those to land.
Okay.
Um, I want to get in a video game,
I can see
preferably
that.
like a AAA game through like Ubisoft or you know somebody like that. We'll throw it out
Okay.
there. Um, And I've always said this, but before I die, I want to have a major role in a Hallmark movie.
A major role in a
In a
Hallmark movie.
Hallmark movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
That has to happen. I'm a Hallmark girly. I never was. I never was, and then I got sucked in, and I am the perfect, yeah, just chuggy Hallmark girl.
okay.
A
You
sweater
know
and the
what?
socks, and I'm all curled up in my blankie with my tea and watching Hallmark movies. That's totally me.
That's okay. Like, if I turn on my TV and I see you, like, in a Christmas movie, I'm like, "I know that woman. I know her."
Exactly,
I love
exactly, and
that.
it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be someone's cool aunt or mom or, like, the 40-year-old divorcee that's trying to find love again. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're gonna speak it into existence. And I will definitely be front row in front of my TV, sipping some eggnog, watching watching it, and that's for sure. I would definitely do
Thank
that.
you.
I hope that does happen. That's for sure. That's pretty awesome. I love that wish list. What is we talked about advice you would give, but what is
Yes.
some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
To trust yourself. I think that's one of the biggest ones is, so often in this world as an actor in general, you don't
Mhm.
get feedback. You don't get information. Like you submit your auditions and 80 to 90% of the time you hear nothing. You get
Right.
nothing from the client, you get nothing from your agents. One of my management companies is great about always giving feedback, but a lot of these agencies just don't have the time or the manpower to be able to do that.
Right.
So you get crickets, and it's really easy when you get into a slump to start doubting yourself and to think
Right.
that, you're just doing something wrong, or, you know, you need to rethink your career. Um, so I think just having that confidence to work through those times and remember that, this is a moment, but, if things really aren't landing and it's been a while, then you gotta call a coach. You gotta call somebody and say, "Hey, I need your feedback. Is there something I'm missing?
Right.
Is there something that I'm doing that might be holding me back?" So being able to have those people that can give you the feedback and get you back on track is really nice. And sometimes it's not. Like sometimes it's just there's a crap ton of competition, and you might be in the top 5, you don't know, but,
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
you just gotta
Yeah.
eventually it's gonna land, but you gotta keep going, but you have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in your talent, and I think that's probably my number 1.
That's the underlying thing about being in this media space in this business that it is competitive.
Mhm,
And sometimes I hate to say it, but sometimes people don't have your best interests at heart.
mhm,
Sometimes you got to really be able to make those calls to people that you really really trust and that will give you the real, right? Not tell you what you want to hear, but tell you what you need to hear. um and especially being a voiceover, there's so many voiceovers out there. There's so many
mhm.
journalists out there. There's just so many people in media. It's just competitive. It's always going to be competitive. So you got to find a way to stand out. You got to find a way to push even harder and self motivate yourself in this
Yeah,
industry for sure.
and your biggest talent, and that's the thing too, is that, the number 1 thing that you can bring to the table is you.
Sure.
You can't
Yes,
be
you can.
anybody else, and nobody else can be you. So,
Right.
you know, trust that you're
Absolutely.
enough.
Absolutely. You know what, Jessica? This has been a pretty dope conversation. Learning about your beginnings in Wisconsin, learn about you going to University of Wisconsin, learn about you being a actress in front of the camera, and also with your voice as voiceover for the past 15 plus years, and now a tour guide out there in Nashville, which is amazing. Amazing, right? Absolutely. It's just learning about you and really getting to know you and knowing that you are just extremely hardworking. Obviously, a great voiceover talent. Anybody that's ever heard anything that you do will say the same thing for sure.
Thank you. That's
I
kind.
really do appreciate you coming on to my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. Um, my final question to you is there anything else that you would like to add about voiceover, acting, or about yourself, maybe upcoming projects that you have, or anything at all before we conclude?
I think the number one thing is for people out there who are creatives who, either use voiceover or actors in their work. Please help us when it comes to working for fair compensation against AI. Um,
Mm.
I know AI is here to stay. I know that people are going to use it. I understand that there is a place for it. Um, but please remember that, you can't get an AI to ever be a human, and they can never feel. So if you want to keep your audience connected and feeling it, remember that we are here and we are ready to work, and we are going to give you the best possible feeling anybody can have. So, work with us and help us support, the people who are out there fighting, people like Nava, who are out there fighting for fair compensation for actors whose voices are used with AI.
Well said, Jessica. No doubt about it. I want you to enjoy the rest of your Monday evening.
Thank
Again,
you.
thank you very much. You and I would definitely stay in contact, and I'm looking forward to more and more stuff from you. So you take care.
Thanks, Chris. You too.